Greetings, Tetris citizens. It is your old pal Van Dweller back with more Classic Tetris Monthly Masters event December 2025. And today, overall, for like the entire day, I think we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches for you. Right now, we are going to do the, what is it? Is it yellow? I think it's yellow. Let's look at the, yeah, it's yellow. Oh God, Stream Deck, not now. Oh God, oh no, Stream Deck, why? Oh God. All right, there it is. Yeah, yellow bracket is what we're gonna do right now. And then starting 3 hours from now, we are gonna do the orange bracket and then one of the matches from the, what is it? The green bracket. So, all right, so right now, yeah, this is crazy. Myles versus Knight in round 1 is kind of sick, actually. And the winner of that is going to take on Danv, who will eventually take on Tugi. So you got 3, very, very strong players aimed like right at Tugi. So Tugi qualifying in the top 8 in qualifiers, and he's got like 3 like top players. I mean, he's a top player too. He's ranked, what, 2021? But he's got players who are like ranked, like who have been in the top 10, top 15, that kind of thing, aimed right at him. Like, so this is going to be a tough match, whoever gets in, because those are like 3 very accomplished players aimed at Tuki, who got, this might be his highest qual. Is this his highest qual? It might be his highest qual. So he's going to have to defend that top 8 spot. That's not going to be today. It's just going to be Myles versus Knight, winner versus Danv. So that's going to be our 3 o'clock bracket. Our 6 o'clock bracket, there will probably be a break, almost certainly in between those two, is going to be Critical Lapis versus Zro, winner versus Peak. For the 6 o'clock bracket. And then after that, one single match from green, it's going to be Doodle versus Poopy. So we got a lot of good action today, 4 or 5 hours of Tetris for y'all. And yeah, so that is what's going to happen. Let's take a look at our rules. Yeah, we have rules. The rules are that this is a 32-player single elimination flat bracket tournament based on the 1989 version of Tetris released by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System on NTSC consoles. Players can play an emulator or console so long as the game mechanics, appearance, and statistics are unmodified. They can use any controller as long as no big buttons or turbo functions used, whether electronic or mechanical, biological, turbo only. Yeah, best of 5 matches. First player to 3 wins is the winner of the match. Level 18 starts all the way through level 39. Super kill screen turned on, uncapped score. So no max outs. We will be using same piece sets re-rolled in between each game of the match. Do not get any advice from anybody else while you are playing a game. Nobody in your ear in the room telling you about how you should play, your opponent's board state, or anything like that. And do not pause unless the commentator tells you, particularly if you experience tech issues like with OBS, internet, or your computer. Just keep playing. Assume your game will count because it might. And the winner gets absolutely something, and that is a share in a prize pool, which stands right now at $49.56. We are looking to make our $2,000 incentive here for the final tournament of the year. That will enable us to pay the top 8. We've hit and exceeded our goal like every month for like 2 years, something like that. There's a December. It's already past halfway. Well, we've already started the tournament, so it's no big deal. But anyway, yeah, so please do help us build that prize pool. All our prize pools are funded 100% by you, the viewers and fans. Go ahead and find the link over where it's, where? Use the Matcherino command. It'll bring up some links. And the one that says CTM December, oh, that is the one. It's not working on YouTube because it's too long. So let me actually just go in there real quick. Since I talked so quickly, I have like 20 seconds where I can just edit this and make sure this one shows up. All right. Okay, I've updated it. All right, let's try it again. Ready? Matcherino, see if it works on YouTube. Anyway, yeah, use that Matcherino command. It'll bring up the link. It says CTM December. There you go. Click on that. It'll take you to the landing page for this tournament with our prize pool partner, Matcherino. Top right-hand corner on that page is where you can log in. It says log in. Click on that. That'll open up a thing where you can log in with your existing Twitch or YouTube or Discord account. It's easy and fun. Over on the right side, look for the orange color button. It says contribute. And yeah, once you do that, a little window will open. You can enter your amount. You can click a little thing that says, yes, indeed, contribute. And then it'll ask you for either PayPal or a card. And then you go to town. Go to town. Okay? Oh, that's still the old one in the bot? All right, we'll update it in the bot. I got one coming from Nightbot and one coming from Classic Tetris Bot, so I'm not sure why it's doing that. So we'll have to look into it. All right, leave me alone. Just go over there, okay? Just do it. There, that's the bracket. Anyway, blah 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 blah. Okay, and then if you want to support the channel, you can go ahead and do that by making an ongoing pledge of support on patreon.com/monthlytetris. It allows us to look forward into the future and go, yes, we can continue to do CTM, or no, I need to go out and do more DoorDash, Instacart, and who knows, Vandy might be delivering your Raising Cane's to you. You know, if we don't get enough, support here on the channel, it's quite possible. Big shout to Scott Gray, Janie Window, K9 Tacky, Middlesburger, Corporal Shabby, Junior, Troy, NK Member, Potato, Keka, Javin T, Jason, Sunny, everybody else on this slide. We got a few more to add, so I will get you added to there, but thank you so much. And yeah, there are other ways to support us. Use that support command while you're watching live on Twitch or on YouTube. It'll bring up some links. If you don't like Patreon, that's fine. You can use the Streamlabs or PayPal links, I think, to make an ongoing pledge. So that's there. Also, you know, one-time means as well. If you're watching on YouTube, you got super chat, super stickers, super thanks. If you want to guarantee that I read your comments, assuming it's appropriate, then you know, super chat is a great way to do it over on YouTube. And if you are on Twitch, you know, accompany with some bits. Anyway, over on YouTube, you also got channel memberships. You can gift a channel membership. You can gift multiple channel memberships with Wowies. Over on Twitch, yeah, you got bits. You can become a subscriber to the channel. You can gift a subscription. You can give multiple subscriptions. And if you're an Amazon Prime Amazon Prime member, you get an Amazon Prime Twitch Prime Gaming subscription that you can use once a month on the channel of your choice. But it is use it or lose it. You cannot save or stack them, so don't lose it. Use it on us. Good. Wowies. Vandy's CTM is the industry leader for online Tetris tournament, bringing classic Tetris to Twitch for more 10 years and more, says Chen. Yes, more 10 years and more. Wow. Okay, that's gonna do it. Good. Yes, let's bring over our players. We'll get them all situated. Refresh your streams, line up their cams, do the needful with regard to their stencils. And Myles is like almost always like on stencil. So, oh my God, big Myles. We have a big Myles. Why is Myles so big today? What the heck? He must have been on ID Kirby's slot from last month. That's my guess. Because ID Kirby, you really got to zoom like right in, because he's just like, I am a neck and a head. So that's all we had of Myles. All right, there's Myles doing his Myles thing. Let's convert miles to kilometers. Oh my God, that is a totally brand new joke for 2025. Amazing. Guys, you know there used to be a player, Nolan, whose name was Kilometers the Average as opposed to Myles the Great, right? You know that. You don't know that. That's old people lore. Okay. All right, so we'll make Myles a little bit bigger. There's Myles. There you go. He was also Eggmaster Zero. That's right. He was a lot of different things. And didn't he? Oh wait, let me fix stencil here while he's warm. And that's not Myles' fault. Almost certainly, that's whoever. That's got to be. Yeah. If you look at the way the stencil is set up right now, almost certainly that was ID Kirby. And yeah, so we reset it and it's perfect. So yeah, holy moly. All right. I'm going to go ahead and drop the pieces in the chat. Players, the music is playing. He was also Nolan on Twitch, yeah. And you were Tony on Twitch. What the heck? Yeah, this is a lot. He's a lot. Now, wasn't he the one who's founded... Did I get this wrong? Did he found Dr. Mario Monthly? And like run it for a couple months and then turn it over? Am I making up facts? Oh, I didn't ping everyone. That was Benji. Oh, why did I miss those two up? Tetris, do you want to send an everyone ping? Can you send an everyone ping? You want to do it for me? I totally forgot. I was like right up at the. Can you do it for me, please? Oh, it was Benji. I didn't realize that. Why did I think Nolan did it? I don't know. That's weird. All right, looks like both players are ready. I'll send you, Tetris, I'll send you $4. I was going to say $5, but I figured I could bargain you down. All right, 659 FB1. All right, looks like both players are ready. It is round one. Myles versus Knight. $3 final offer. Sold. Let's go ahead and get him counted down. I can't believe this is a round one match. Myles versus Knight in round one here in December. What happened? Why did this occur? Let me look at these qualifiers and see. Myles qualified in with a 1.2 million. Knight also with a 1.2 million, just 4,000 apart. I mean, it's seed number 24 and number 25. We're used to these players being, top 16 qualifiers, so it's really unusual to see them kind of both below the top 16, and therefore, having to play a round one match and then playing against each other, which is absolutely crazy. This is, easily top 8 semifinals and beyond potentially match. So really crazy. On the left-hand side, it is Myles, the great, seed number 24 from the USA. I did mention a 1.23 million. That was the average of his best 2 games played in a 1-hour qualifying period. Oh, because someone's qual score got discounted. Oh, that's true. That is true. Well, listen, we got to stay consistent. I do remember. I'll explain that. And, that's a decision we made. But anyway, Myles with an overall PB of 8.06 million. And he's ranked number 11 in December's premier poll. Myles, of course, one of the game crashers. One of the still only eight players, right? Is it still only 8 players who have crashed the game? How is that possible? 122 here for Myles, 164 for Knight, and then there's like a theoretical crash, which you got to see the crash. Sorry. Is it, I got to 160 or something on Tetris Gym with no crash. No theoretical crash. You got to see the crash. Okay. But anyway, Myles, you've seen him recently. Where have you seen Myles? Well, you've seen him at the Classic Tetris World Championship. In fact, you've seen him there 5 times in the gold bracket. He's made it into the top 8 back-to-back years, 24 and 25. He's a former Challenger Circuit, a 2-time Classic Tetris Brawl winner, won their September 2020 event and Winter Games 25. Also won the Desert Qualifier in Arizona in 2022. He's also a 3-time runner-up in our CTM monthlies, December of 21, March 23, October 24, and was the runner-up at Lone Star in 2024, the most recent Lone Star championship. You've also seen him at in Mega Masters, one of the few players to play Mega Masters all 4 years. And you've seen him at like regionals in Stillwater, Kansas City, Waco. And that is Myles. Go look him up. Myles the Great on all your favorite social media platforms. On the right-hand side, seed number 25, it is Knight, a known Canadian and known to known to, to associate with other Canadians. So 442 for Knight, 370 for Myles. Knight qualified into seed number 25, and that was a 1.22. Now, just a little program note here. She did have one higher score in the qualifier, but we do require that all of the games for certain caliber of player do feature like cam, and she got one of her best scores when she forgot to turn on cam, and unfortunately we just have to enforce the rules on that. We've ruled that way in the past, so she definitely would have qualified higher had that happened, but still in, which is good. So anyway, 535 for Knight, 464 for Myles. But anyway, that explains that for those wondering. Anyway, Knight with a PB of 4.82 million was ranked number 7 in the most recent Premier poll. Knight is also coming off of a victory in stupid Tetris monthly no bars. Knight was the winner. The winner. Defeated Meme in the finals of that, 3-1. You've seen Knight in CTWC Gold Bracket 3 times. She took 10th also in the Jonas Cup in 2024. She won a Futures Circuit in February of 2022. And look at these paces. 603 for Myles, 698 for Knight, still on 19. See Knight with high finishes at regionals in Genesis in 2025. Placed third in both the Open and the DAS events. Knight is a 2-time Mega Masters player, had her best finish here at 2025, top 16. And also played in Mega Dasters. 779 for Knight, 690 for Myles. We're on level 21. This is a really, really crazy round 1 matchup. Tetris for Knight, 861. I feel like quals were I didn't have a chance to make a score slide yet. We'll make it after today. Kind of pulled in 2 directions the last couple months, so I've been doing what I can to just sort of get everything at least bare minimum, minimum viable product. 922 for Knight on 23. Knight's PB of 4.8 million is a top, or would be a top 20 score for on the list, and Myles' PB is still in the top 10, 8th overall. All right, Tetris for Knight, and she's essentially 1 away. It'd be a little extra here to get, but yeah, a couple thousand. Oh, gonna miss with the bar, so maybe kind of, got that Tetris, kind of took her foot off the gas there for a second, and a couple of misdrops here she's gonna have to recover from. A33, she's got the max. 938 for Myles. I mean, maybe they just wanted to play more matches, but got unlucky to run into each other, I'm sure that's what it was. B15 for Knight. A40 for Myles. He has got the max. And Knight gonna get it. Tetris into 29 at B86. The speed has doubled. And players will have 100 lines available to them until level 39, where that speed's gonna double again. It is virtually unsurvivable. Myles is in. He's on 29 at B53 right now. So lines are tied, and Myles is back by, 10,000. It's really close. All right, Knight with some cleanup to do here on 29. This is not easy, but she's bringing it down. All right, opens up a big chunk of that middle there, so a lot of pieces can go in there. All right, T to the left. Knight bringing it down. This is going to allow Myles to, kind of keep pace here, but Myles going to take a triple down the middle. So Knight is now clean, and now it's Myles having to do a little bit of cleanup. His board's going to start kind of lower here. All right, those 5 taps getting tested here for Myles with that left side. And really needs a bar to bring this down. Does, but oh my goodness, I don't know if this is survivable. And that's my polite way of saying it is not survivable. So Myles going to top out C97. A Knight is good in game number 1. All right, Knight gonna mulling it out a little bit here. Try to get that rollover. Farming stats. Oh my goodness, what a stat pattern. There's a Tetris into 39, so Knight gonna get that rollover. All right, players, I'm gonna put more pieces in the chat. 00E1DC. Is that one of those weird seeds? The rollover 39 indeed. And by the way, just players, I will be running an ad after game 2. Only if it's 0-0. Oh, 4 zeros. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I will be running an ad after game 2, so you have a minute there to kill or whatever. Okay, both players are good. Game number 2. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. So the winner of this will take on Danv, our inveterate YouTube editor. Is he inveterate? Is he intrepid? Is he stalwart? Danv, are you stalwart? You might be stalwart. All right, Tetris for Myles, 120, 139 for Knight. Chen says, Dan V, who are you hoping for? Neither one of these is an easy draw here. Is this best of 3? This is best of 5. Colin, you have not been gracing us with the word of the day as of late. You're just kind of hanging around, you know. At least before you were making a contribution, and now you're just kind of, you know, you're just kind of hanging out. So yeah, we need your contributions again. Myles with a little bit of shenanigans in the middle of the board here. That's going to clear away. Down the middle for Knight. Veracity. Oh, well, that's a pretty easy one. Veracity. Like, you know, like having a, you know, it's the truth of something, or, you know, having the ring of truth. Like, everybody knows veracity. What about verisimilitude? What about that? Now that would have been a name. That would have been, I mean, that would have been a word of the day. $297 for Knight, $323 for Myles. Make your own app. This one is from the Merriam-Webster, and I know the words 86% of the time. $325 for Knight, $345 for Myles. Enervated is your word of the day. So, like, that's a word that people get wrong because it sounds like it should be a synonym for, like, irritated or annoyed, but it's not. You know, it doesn't mean like to weaken, right? $396 for Knight. $397 for Knight, $378 for Myles. Right now, people are just putting vocabulary words in the chat. I like it. Henry says anti-disestablishmentarianism. That's one that's like very, you know, nested. You got it right. All right. So establishmentarianism, right? So isn't that like, oh, they wanted to establish the Church of England as the, you know, as the, you know, state church or whatever. And then there were people who were disestablishmentarianisms who wanted to, you know, remove it. And then there were anti-disestablishmentarians who were against removing it. Something like that. 542 for Knight, 543 for Myles. All right, Knight 592 on 20, 595 for Myles. So super close right now. Stolen Short Swords word of the day is mellifluous, like, you know, like my voice, of course. Of course. That's why, I mean, who cares about the Tetris? All of you are just here for me. And my sweet tones, my dulcet tones. 725 for Knight, 661 for Myles. Well, I know Chen is here for me. But the rest of you are actually here for Tetris. But. $727 Myles, $793 for Knight. It would be fun to have, like, you know, I'm sure this must exist, right? But, you know, there's always like spelling bees, but like, so what? Like, there should be, I mean, I'm sure there is. There must be a definition bee, right? Regina Phalange with the Prime sub, 16 months. Thank you, Regina Phalange. Defenestration is the word of the day. Throwing something out a window. $866 Myles, A19 for Knight. You're a fan of mastication? Chewing something? My goodness. It's pretty funny. As soon as you learn the word mastication and you're like 14, it becomes the most hilarious word in the world. Because you'd be like, what? It means chewing. You know, it means chewing. What? There's a Tetris for Knight, A92, 973 for Myles. Tetris for Knight, B74. A10 for Myles. Knight is into 29. And Myles is into 29 at A47. Currently back by 130,000 points. All right, people saying there's in the spelling bee, there's some vocabulary rounds at the beginning, so there kind of is one. And someone's saying it's less skill-based because you can reverse engineer the spelling of a word you're not familiar with via phonetics. What do you mean it's less skill? I guess I don't know what you mean by less skill-based, but I think like knowing the... Oh, do you mean like you can't just like bluff your way through it? I mean, you kind of can. I mean, if you know, you know, kind of etymological roots and things like that, you can sort of put stuff together. It's not always easy, but there we go. Tetris for Knight, E10, D49 for Myles. And this is a close one. So Myles back by 60,000. That's, you know, that's less than 2 Tetrises right now. And yeah, Knight 18 lines to go until 39. Myles with a Tetris E68. This one's like going right to the end. Right, Knight is set up for one, has to skim it down. Tetris for Knight, F88. There's a Tetris for Myles, F26. It's back by 2 lines. Knight is gonna get one with the rollover. There's another one for Knight. So 1.68 and Myles at F86. And he's trying to do something here on 39 and is not gonna be able to do it. So Knight with the rollover, Myles with the 1.586. What the heck? That is absolutely crazy. Sebi says, I forgot the level 39 cap existed. Oh my goodness. Yikes. Zepro says, Vinky, you winning, right? I don't know, man. So Knight is up 2-0. So kind of, you know, both of these players kind of just through circumstance and whatever, kind of underqualing and super unfortunate for, you know, for them to kind of meet each other in round one. But, you know, good for us, I guess. BADCC1. Bad CC1. Myles like, guys, I was trying to smurf my way to the early rounds, you know, get a few, you know, get some elo here. It's like, I didn't know I'd be facing Knight. Highest losing score in round one since the flat bracket? That's a good question. Good question. Don't know. Where's my thing? Oh, okay, sorry, my button is... all right, let's go ahead and get these players started. In 3... Oh, wait, no, wrong. Wrong. I hit the wrong button. All right. Oh, game. Oh, man. What a mess. What a mess. Danv Pants has subscribed with Prime 52 months. 52 months is a lot of months. Your word is logorrheic. Yeah, it means like, you know, loquacious, talkative, logo meaning word, and reic, the same word that's in a yucky word. the same root that's in that very yucky word. You know, spewing a lot of words. Oh, you didn't ask me? Oh, whoops, sorry. If you don't know what this means, what are the steps you take to find it out? I mean, if you get the spelling of it, then you probably know some of the roots of it. Anyway, sorry, Short Sword. I didn't know. I just saw a word and people have been putting in words and I guess trying to get me to define them. I don't know every word. I'm just getting lucky by the ones that people are putting in there. But 148 for Knight. I mean, if you really challenge me, I mean, obviously you can find a ton of words that I don't know. Sesquioxidizing? Well, like a sesquicentennial is like 150 year like anniversary, right? So is it like, I don't know, something that oxidizes 150 times? No idea. Pulchritudinous? Yeah, I know pulchritudinous. Kingsman is pulchritudinous. He's beautiful. Verklempt? I mean, it's like I think it's like a Yiddish word for, I don't know, kind of unable to speak because of feeling or something like that. Something like that. That's what I don't know. That's my guess. That's how I heard it used, but I don't know what the actual dictionary definition is. $284 for Myles, $292 for Knight. And now the words are just, everybody wants, me to just define words, but listen, I got Tetris tournament guys, okay? I mean, Chet, I've got to know what ontology and eschatology and axiology. You're just giving me philosophic terms. I mean, yeah, I was a philosophy major, so those I'm gonna know. Those are not going to be a challenge, okay? 401 for Knight, 472 for Myles. Dendrochronology. Dendro meaning like trees, and chronology. So is it like the determining the age of trees? Let's see. I'm just guessing from the roots. All right, I got to focus on Tetris. 489 for Knight, 527 for Myles. Hippomonstrosesquipedaliophobia. I think that's a fake phobia made just to have a funny word. So like the fear of very large things, probably. But it's not a real thing. It's just someone did it to make a funny word. That's my guess. There's another, what's the other one? Like, flossy nuxy nihilopilification. Like they're 642 for Myles, 668 for Knight. Tetris for Myles. Now Myles with a 10 line, advantage here. He's back by 10 lines. All right, Knight with kind of a spire in the middle of the board. All right, Myles ahead by over 100,000 points and back by 16 lines. So Knight's been a little bit of a struggle here these last few levels. And Myles kind of struggling too here right now, just with this kind of Myles dig. These things are like named after him, so see what he does here. 851 for Myles, 785 for Knight. Knight into 29 at 793. Myles still with 7 lines to go until 29. And there's a Tetris for Myles, 914. So neither player with the max going into 29. So maybe an RNG thing for both. All right, Myles starting in cleanup mode. Party down the middle for Knight, 893. What's up, Dirt Block, Queenman, Jingle Cook? All right, Tetris for Knight, 994. All of a sudden now Knight in the lead, but still it's, you know, Myles has still got 14, 15 lines in hand. Knight has got the max. Myles gets the max. I think both players have found a little bit of a rhythm here, although now some gaps in Knight's board. Myles is set up. Long bar over Tetris. Myles, A57. I think that was a perfect clear or close to it. B84 for Knight. A lot of pieces disappeared there. And Knight gets another Tetris, C36. And there's another Tetris Myles, B52. I mean, this could be a very late round matchup, and it's here in round 1. Oh no, Knight in trouble. That's going to be a top out for Knight at C42. The target for Myles, C43. He's 1 away, and he's going to get it. So Myles is going to take game number 3 and continue on in this match. All right, well, players, you can take a moment if you need it. I think, oh, Hepta, you're asking about in-ear monitors. I have a pair of, I'm not an expert by this in any means, but I like them and I use them. It's the Shure, it's the $100 ones from Shure, I think. Like the 215s. 250 SE 215 Pro. That's what I have. I use them in my CD player and my cassette player, and they're good. Sometimes I've used them in CTM too. Put them into my. Yeah, you can take a minute. Yeah, take a minute for sure. Take a minute. Take them in. So if you're looking for a wired one. This is, I mean, you know, it's $100 and they work pretty well. I know they may have a one level higher that's like 200, 250, but these work well and I'm happy with it. That's what I use. Vandy, what do you think about Meditations by Marcus Aurelius? Just started reading it yesterday. How much does the translation matter? I gotta be honest, I never read Marcus Aurelius. I kind of stayed away from like Roman philosophy, any kind of stoicism. It's not something I really can speak to too much. So translation, if you're just reading it just for enjoyment, oh, you're a philosophy major. Yeah, I mean, I would just get something that is actually from a major publisher, you know? So it's, I don't know, but I can't recommend a translation. So I actually never read it. So. All right, 9C D3 FC. I can't read everything. You know, of course, I've read histories of. I thought you were a philosophy major. It doesn't mean you read everything. You know. All right, looks like both players 9C D3 FC. I'm only 48. I'll get to it eventually. And I didn't graduate, so I definitely didn't read everything. All right, looks like both players are ready. Game number 4, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. I spent 4 years in, but I didn't graduate. I got all my philosophy requirements done within my first 2 years. I had a second major in economics, and I had a minor in classical Greek language. I finished all my philosophy requirements first 3 or 4 semesters. They did let me into some graduate seminars in philosophy too in my department, which was a good department. I went to UMass, but eventually I crashed out. Back then it was a good department. This would have been in the late 90s. It was like a top 20, top 25 school in philosophy, but I don't know what it is now, because all the guys who made it a top 25 school were all really old. $138 for Knight, $115 for Myles. So sorry, Luke Moistwalker. If I had known you were going to ask me about Marcus Aurelius, I would have, I would have read it years ago so I could answer that question, but I didn't. It is short. See, back then, I was, I don't know. I was more into kind of metaphysics and epistemology. You thought it was a staple in philosophy. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's only so much you can read. I'll get to it eventually. But yeah, don't I mean, you can't go wrong if you just buy the, the cheap Hackett editions if they have one. Just get that. Go get Penguin Classics. They're done by, scholars. They're mainstream translations. Although I would tend to avoid definitely with anybody that has a Stoic or anyone like that, I would avoid anything modern, because 359 for Knight, 332 for Myles, because Stoicism has become this self-help trend. And so there's a lot of stoicism grifters out there. So I would avoid anything like that and get yourself at least something just properly academic and, you know, before the stoicism self-help grift. 405 for Knight, 379 for Myles. Luke Moistwalker, I mean, this is basically classic sidetracking monthly. 425 for Myles, 453 for Knight. But, you know, like, if like Ryan Holiday wrote the forward, then good. Suffice it to say, it's probably not the one to get. $441 for Myles, $570 for Knight. So Knight looking for a 600K transition, 60,000 point lead right now. Is no rotation actually viable? What do you mean, viable? Luke Moistwalker says, can you tell Myles I believe him and I think he needs it? All right, Myles, Luke believes in you. 603 for Myles, 690 for Knight. Have I read any Theodore Geisel? Yeah, I read one about something about ham and eggs or something. All right, Myles is happy now. All right, Knight up a little bit high here. Long bar gets over to bring it down, though. 775, 705 for Myles. Yeah, Bacon, I don't know what you mean. Is no rotation actually viable? I mean, we don't play no rotation to get points. It's really just to see who can get the most lines, and it's from a zero start. So I'm not sure what you mean by viable. We're doing a 16-player tournament. And there's at least 3 players that are good at it. So we'll see. Evesy wants to know, can you play CTWC with no rotation and still make gold? I don't know. If anyone could do it, it's you, though, Evesy. 928 for Knight, 827 for Myles. So Knight with, again, it's still 10 lines ahead. Knight on average playing higher on the board, so going through pieces a little bit faster. And it's about, 100. Well, when the lines are tied, it's about 130,000 point, not tied. When the lines are exactly 10 apart, it's about 130,000 point lead for Knight. Will the no rotation tournament have a level 39 line cap? It should have like a level 4 line cap. But no, it will obviously be uncapped. The record is in what, the 60s or something? So, that means we're going to get to level 6, 7, 6, 7. 945 for Myles, B18 for Knight. There's a Tetris for Knight. B58 into 29. That's quite an old record. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't kept up with it. Listen, the only reason I'm doing no row is because I love Zoltan and I want to give him a chance to play in a tournament, okay? On this channel. So that's what it comes down to. A23 for Myles. He's on 29. Knight is on into 31 at C87. So it's a big score lead right now for Knight, which is also ahead by, about 18 lines. And Myles on the down stack right here. And whoever makes it through, Danv has got to be like, oh my God, why am I against one of these people in my round of 16 match? I'm supposed to get, something a little less intense. No row record is 72 lines. All right, so yeah, so it'll be, level 6, 7, something like that. No big deal. Is this the highest scoring round of 32 match ever? I don't know. I don't have that at hand. I don't have a stats team. Knight with the second effort on that other long bar to get that over. Bringing it down. E27 for Knight. C79 for Myles. Myles with 40 lines to go until level 39 to try to make up about 150,000 point deficit. He's got to stay clean, and Knight is giving him that opportunity a little bit here. There's another Tetris. Myles starting to drop him in. He's within 100,000 points, and he's got 16, 17 lines in hand, actually. The longboard goes down for the triple. And Knight clean again. F12 for Knight. She's got room for one more Tetris. He's going to set up for it. She is set up for it. And now just kind of waiting on the bar. Gets the bar. F63, F65. Oh no, Myles with the bar on the right is not going to get a chance to chase this down. He had 14 lines. Tetris is here would have been worth 48,000. So, if he got 3 Tetrises, that would be like 157, maybe possible. But with that stack, the way it started, it definitely was not going to be possible because of the way that stack was. He was just never going to be able to downstack that, plus get the 3 Tetrises he needs. So, yeah, that is absolutely wild. Round 1, just unusual circumstances. And my goodness gracious. So Myles is out in round 1. Unusual circumstance, that's for sure. But Myles played great. I mean, certainly not typical round 1 performance. So GG's to Myles. Hope to see you again in 2026. I mean, now unless you take down the January tournament, I think we're gonna do Try Hard Cup, right? Since all the players who have not won a Masters will be invited. So, so all you got to do is not win January, and you're into that. All right. So let's go ahead and run a quick ad. We will be right back. And Knight, you got to stick around because you're going to play Danv. Going to pay some bills here. All right, goodbye number 24. And hello number 9. All right, Danv looking good. Let's fix up Danv. Okay. There's Danv. That is Danv right there. Oh, we're getting the view. Danv, so toxic. I have to sneeze. Thank you. All right, there he is. we'll put Dan right over there. Seems good. Here we'll color match his streams. We'll show you how the sausage is made, right? We're making sausage right now. So we're gonna color match this top one to his top. We'll color match the middle one to something in the middle. It's about, I think it's this orange one that's gonna do it. And then color match the bottom to the bottom. And then we get the illusion of, you know, immersion. And then we do this, and oh my God. Oh, it didn't work. Why didn't that work? Oh, because I color matched it to black, I guess. Yeah, it's going to be that orange, I think. Maybe. Yeah, close enough. All right, y'all, just give me about 60 seconds. I will be right back. I'll give you the seed if you want it, but I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I have returned. So if you all want to get ready, you could do predictions on mobile now. Oh my God, Evesy Live is using punctuation. This, oh my God, you know it's serious when it begins with a capital letter and ends with a period. It's very serious. Oh shoot, Danv Seed 9. Let me fix this stencil. It's not Danv almost certainly, but whoever was on it before. Who was Seed 9 last month? So we can stencil shame whoever was Seed 9 last month. All right, pieces are here 053C6E. Colin says, Vandy, there is now no excuses for mods not being helpful. They can't hide behind the I'm on mobile. Yeah, but Colin, they would have to like put their thumb on their phone twice in order to get into moderation mode. People are not going to willingly put their thumb on the phone twice. Yeah, you have to be in moderator mode, Hana. Like there's a mod interface, I guess. All right, looks like both players are ready. 053C60. They're both ready to go. So let's go round 2. Danv versus Knight. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Let's give Danv his full dignity here. We had him very tiny on the screen, but now he's there. Well, on the left side, it is Danv, seed number 9 from Great Britain, which is apparently represented by the 3-digit signifier GBR. Now I know so it's G Britain. That's what it is. GBR. Goodness. Anyway, Danv has got a PB of 3.83 million. He was ranked number 21 in the most recent Premier poll. You can find the full results of the Premier poll over at premierpoll.com. Premier has an E at the end. So it is the first poll, not the best poll, I guess. It's what that means, right? Yeah, it's the first poll. Not the best poll, just the first one. Danv is a former Masters winner. He won Faster Masters back in 2023. Was that February or May? I'm trying to remember here. I think those, for some reason, we did it. We did it twice. It was May of 2023. Took out Gerald Freeman 4-1 in those finals. To this day, it remains Danv's highest money finish in a Tetris tournament. So I'm glad we could oblige. Thank you, Danv. Danv is also the winner of CTWC France in 2025. He's one of the few players to win a Hopefuls, Futures, Challengers, and Masters events. I think maybe the only one, actually. Is there another player who's won Hopefuls? I think I ask this every time. Hopefuls, Futures, Challengers, Masters. He might be the only one. But anyway, you've also seen Dan all around the world. He's played at the regionals in Austria, France, CTWC Das in Germany, CT UK. He's come over to the United States to play in the gold bracket 4 times, plus the online year of 2021. So 5 overall appearances in gold. 344 for Danv. He's also been at Boston. He recently played in Pumpy's one-day tournament, took top 4 in that. For some reason, he went to Columbus, Ohio. Imagine coming all the way from the UK to go to Columbus, Ohio. All right. 375 for Danv, 375 for Knight. And on the right side, it is Knight, seed number 25 from Canada, defeated Myles in round 1 to get here to this round 2. Has a PB of 4.82 million, was ranked number 7 in the most recent Premier poll. Knight was the winner just a few days ago of Stupid Tetris Monthly No Bars November. Which is Knight's highest money finish, according to Liquipedia, in an NES Tetris tournament. So really, Vandy in the business of making meme tournaments so players can get big paydays. So, man, big pat on the back to Van Dweller 504 for Knight, 444 for Danv. Knight is a 3-time CTWC Gold bracket player, 21, 22, and 25. Also placed 10th in the Jonas Cup in 2024. 2 times in Mega Masters. Best finish was this year, 2025. Also played in Mega Dasters. Played in the Genesis Regional back in February of this year. Took 3rd in both the Open and DAS tournaments. Knight, also a former Future Circuit winner. That was back in February of 2022. Knight into 19, now at 621. Danv in at 509. So about 112, 113,000 point lead for Knight at the 19 transition. Cat Vinity says Danv is Van D backwards. Wait, what? Oh my God. Wait, are you serious? Holy crap. I'll have to look into this. I mean, it's not backwards. You just invert the, you just the first and last letters and switch them. Well, I get what you're saying. $614 for Danv, $730 for Knight. Yeah, it is weird though, because when I was using Van Dweller account, Danv was also Dan Dweller, and I don't know if he knew like how close those names were. So it's pretty weird. 762 for Knight, 671 for Danv. Long bar down Tetris Knight, 789. Danv recently won the Dubai Chocolate Labubu Cup. Oh my goodness gracious. He won the Italian Brain Rot Championship, I guess. Tetris for Danv, 741, 915 for Knight. All right, skimming a Tetris for Knight, 952. And another Tetris. So Knight is on level 26 and 1 away from the max. And man, really playing aggressive. Tetris for Knight. She's got the max A17. Danv from the UK, Knight from Canada. They both, I guess they are both subjects of the same monarch. I guess, is that how that? I don't really know how that all works. What do you say? Monarch? Monarch. We got a monarch. C15 for Knight. A68 for Danv. Level 30 now. Knight still ahead by 120,000 points. So it's roughly the same lead they had it, or the same difference they had at 19. Danv with a good board though. Knight in, a bit of a down stack here. This could allow Danv to get back out, or at least cut into this lead a bit. He gets a Tetris B65. He's within 100,000 points. He's back by 8 lines. And yeah, he's cutting into this lead still. He's going to have to take a couple burns. And just when Knight was dug out, kind of a misdrop of a T-piece, and that's going to slow her down just a little bit more. Tetris for Danv, C58. He's now within like 6,000 points. He's back by 5 to 8 lines, so pretty much tied pace-wise. So kind of a costly sequence there for Knight. She's going to get a Tetris D29. Tetris for Danv, D13. And kind of another misdrop there for Knight with the T. Danv back by 60,000 though, but again, about 8 lines back, something like that. So still more or less tied pace-wise. Knight, level 37, setting up one row above. Oh, no, gonna miss. Oh, a couple of bars hung on the right. It's gonna be a top out at D99. Danv just needs to get, and he gets it. So that is gonna do it. Danv was kind of behind, but close really the entire way, and kind of a costly sequence, kind of mid-30s. Gonna allow Danv to get back into it, and then able to capitalize on some kind of under rolls over that right side. So Danv is good in game number 1. Man, Danv not going to get that last bar to finish it off, but he will take game 1. So players, take a moment if you need it. It's fine. So yeah, I mean, round 1, round 2, I mean, just stacked in this yellow bracket. When Danv gets a dirty Tetris, can we call him Dirty Dan like from SpongeBob? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you could do that. I'm sure Danv probably wouldn't care all that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure I've said Dirty Dan before. What's up, Rory? And he's still, he's still doing the editing for the thing. So I guess it didn't offend him that much. Yeah, those bars on the right are rough. Sorry, not sure why I thought that thought should have been shared. Listen, you just thought occurred. This is the internet. If thought occurs to you, just put it out there and apologize later. Put a thought out there, apologize, and find a new job. That's the internet. All right, looks like both players have signaled ready. 824383. Yes, we are good. Knight gonna take in some hydration. Let's go. Game number 2. Danv up 1 game to none. 3-2-1 Tetris. I need to catch up on some subs and some thanks, by the way. Zella Zowie, I think I missed yours. Thank you for your tier 1 sub. If you're still here, really appreciate that. Danv again, thanks for the prime sub. Regina Phalange. Trampoline Tales, I definitely missed that one. Thank you. 2 months prime. Appreciate that. All right, Tetris Knight, 35,000. That's her first Tetris of game 2. Danv at 75,000 also shaking his head. Hilbert Space with the $30 contribution to the prize pool. Thank you, Hilbert, for your prize pool contribution and support. Thank you very much. You know, I got to change the redirect for the CTM dot, I guess for the shortcut. So we're up to 79.56. Danv up a little bit high here, taking that triple. Opening up the right side. Knight in the lead, 131 to 109. Tetris for both. Y'all, we do have more Tetris for you today. Going to start an hour and a half from now. Kind of a last minute late breaking add to the schedule. It's going to be Critical Lapis versus Zrobot, and the winner versus Peak Masters Orange starts an hour and a half from now. And right after that, basically, I guess slated to start 2 hours after that is Doodle versus Poopy. Probably won't go offline. We'll just kind of hang out if we need to kill some time. Yeah, let me get those other tournaments off here. Off the match arena. 315 for night 292 for Danv. All right, a little S flat there for Knight. Takes the burn, keeps it open. There's a Tetris Knight 386, Danv 340, long bar in Tetris. And it's a virtual dead heat. Danv back by about 5 lines, back by about a Tetris. So we are tied in essence. Tetris Knight 510, 448 Dan. Gets a Tetris 471. All right, Knight up a little high. It has room to maneuver in the middle of the board, which is what you want. And there we go, Tetris for Knight. Angry Roro just subbed on Twitch. Thank you for that. Both players, not America, cry, says Angry Roro. 536, Knight gets another 612 on 20. Dan in at 546, back 11 lines. Still pretty tight pace-wise. All right, Knight going to set up long bar column 9. Another one for the Tetris 735. Danv 638. He gets one. He's at 666. Tetris Knight 825. A little bit of a spire brewing here for Knight. But can uncover that right side. Has some pieces she can put over on that left side. Long bar down. Tetris Knight 953. Danv 839. 7 rows back. Another Tetris for Knight. And another Tetris for Knight. So Knight now with the max out, A20 on 27, 12 lines ahead. Tetris down for Danv 919 on 27. Knight with the A91, 7 lines until 29. And Knight into 29 as a B74 now into level 30. Danv. Gonna try and set up here for one last one into 29. Gets it. It's got the A33 into 29. Dan is back by 14 lines and 150,000 points. Tetris is here. Worth 36,000 and climbing. 37 on 37,200 on 30. And that is going to be a top out for Danv at A62. And Knight is good in game number 2. Knight pacing a little bit. And she's gonna be like, you know what? Save the wrist, save the hand, move on. All right, I'm gonna run an ad real quick. Game 2 ad, right? It's okay, because, you know, we know in advance it's gonna happen, so it's okay. AV Geek raid party of 4. Thank you, AV Geek, Aviation Geek. Next ad, no warning. No, we should warn people. Warning. Oh my God. We're gonna support the channel, guys. Warning, warning. Don't worry, guys. I pinned it. I got it. Don't worry at all. Mino Floop, I am okay. Welcome. All right, the pieces are here. 6E, C8, AC. Okay, 6 EC, 8 AC. Both players are ready. It is game number 3. You know what that means, guys? That what was once a best of 5 is now virtually a best of 3. Did you know that? I think you did. During that little break there, I did look up, like, I guess my big question is, like, what the role of the, you know, of, like, the king is in Canada. And apparently he does not really have the ability to call a new government. I guess there's some sort of governor that kind of does it, although I guess maybe technically he could, but they could call a new government. It's all very complicated. The lieutenant governor, the head of state, a governor general. Yeah, that's the word for it. Governor general. Oh, Knight with a misdrop of a T, but opens that well up in column 8, like just in time. So a little bit of a kind of spicy sequence there for Knight, but she's going to survive. She's at 180, 193 for Danv. Who here read Animal Farm? I was gonna say, like, well, most Americans at least have it like assigned in high school, but I don't even know if I don't know what Americans do in school anymore. But and it's easy to assign because it's very short, like isn't it like 100 pages or something, if that. You always thought Animal Farm was a mad or crack type magazine. I mean, maybe there is something called that, but it is also a little novelette by George Orwell. $368 for Knight, $376 for Danv. Danv, oh my goodness, gets the bar over to the right. Okay, so he's still trying to work on this. This is going to be tough for Dan. Oh my goodness, what a dig. Oh my goodness, this is just the worst. Oh no, that bar to the left. Danv not going to be able to get that overnight. Going to receive a game here in game number 3. course, they're making a new. Someone's making a film of Animal Farm, right? But it's very, Animal Farm is originally kind of an anti-communist book written from the viewpoint of a democratic socialist. But now they're going to update it and make it anti-capitalist, right? So wow, very, very edgy. All right, the new pieces are here. 1D6014. 1D6014. So we'll just put the old Animal Farm down the memory hole, I guess. One D6014, 1D6014. Yeah, Danv not on seed, Dan. Yeah, nobody pinned this. We're not getting seed pinners here, so it's hard to dredge up this. We got a million mods, no seed pinners. Even after Colin taught people how to do it. Okay, he got it. You would pin. It's all right, Chen. You'll get there. All right, both players are ready. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 4, Danv versus Knight. Danv looking to win this one. To stay in, force of deciding game number 5. 3, 2, 1, Tetris. But, everybody says that. Like, every time, a seed goes unpinned and I just kind of joke around about it. And then people go, oh, well, I would pin the seeds. And then I'm like, you would? And then I make them moderators on that basis. And, they'll pin them for the duration of that stream. But then, the next stream comes and no one's pinning seeds. And then, they're just like, oh, well, I can't. All right, or I'm just gonna not worry about it. That's it. We're gonna start demodding someone. Classic scam, I know. Classic scam. Oh wait, Arbaro, by the way, I missed Arbaro's contribution to the prize pool. Arbaro said, Arbaro first contributed $10 to the prize pool and then said the following words. Join Tetris for the non-pros at tnp.tetris.lol. All right, let's see if this works. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. Let's see if this works. Join Tetris for the non-pros at tnp.tetris.lol. It's still not working over on YouTube, but they don't play Tetris over on YouTube now, so it's fine. They just watch. That's it. I'm gonna demod someone for every unpinned seed. That's it. And it's gonna be random. We're gonna spin the wheel. Oh, right. Nightbot did come up with it. Nightbot finally did it on YouTube. So there you go. It works. Cat Vinny, I can't. You need more life experience. Vandy, what do you think of the name Dubai Chocolate Labubu Cup for the tournament featuring all the classic Tetris players at Red Bull Tetris? You know, there's enough brain rot in the world without, you know, contributing more to it. So I would say resist brain rot and just have a nice dignified name. 292 for Danv, 347 for Knight. I did have a Dubai chocolate cookie from Tiff's Treats. Was it yesterday? I guess last night, I guess. You know. So we had some cookies before Sue left for her holiday visit home. And one of them was a Dubai chocolate cookie. It was great. All right, Dan V's board looking a little weird, needs some help. So going to get to work kind of filling it out. It's actually a square away from being able to tuck in and set up a Tetris. But no, he's going to take the spin and is now set up for a Tetris. Long bar goes in. Tetris, Dan, 396. Tetris Knight 513, 443 Dan. Yeah, I'm with Anpu. I'm not a fan of the name. Hopefully within 6 or 7 months, that kind of stuff will run its course. But I guess that people are doing that now. So 607 for Knight. Tetris for Dan V, 543. Dan V ahead in line. It's kind of the first time all match where Dan has really been playing ahead. Tetris Knight 655 into 19. That is a reasonable pace. Tetris for Knight 715. There's another one, 741. Dan V gets one, 677. Oh, people are talking about the social media ban, I guess, in Australia. And they didn't ban Roblox and Discord. But that's just because, you know, they don't know. You know? They don't know that that's where a lot of the... Now, somebody's going to go, you're like, teacher, you forgot to assign homework. You know, like, you forgot to ban Roblox and Discord. Teacher. You know? $854 for Danv, $980 for Knight. All right, Knight uncovers. That's a right well. Long bar in. Tetris Knight with the max out and more. A46. Danv at 893. And yeah, it's about 180,000 point lead when the lines are tied. Your parents taught you to be that kid. Teacher, you forgot to assign homework. I mean, on the one hand, you know, if you're looking to learn, okay, great. On the other hand, you know, it's a teacher's responsibility. You don't have to worry about that. You know, you don't have to run around telling people what to do. If you're looking to learn, homework is not the way. Well, yeah, like, I would agree with you today. But in theory, yeah, like doing stuff on your own, like, is good. Danv is in trouble. And yeah, that left side is not going to be fixable. Danv going to pound himself in the head. Easy, buddy. All right, we need you to have that good thing. But Knight is good, and we'll take this one 3 games to 1. So Knight has earned her way into the round of 16. Had a bit of a mishap in qualifiers that led her potentially to be ranked lower than maybe she otherwise would have, but will in fact earn her way back into the top 16, taking out 2 dangerous competitors along the way. Both of those were 3-1, right? I forgot to report. 3-1 Myles and 3-1 Danv. So GG's Knight, you are in to that top 16. Yeah, we'll show you the bracket in a moment. 3-1. And we'll show you where we're at. In about an hour, we're going to have another another 3 matches, really. We'll show you what those are, too. So anyway, GG's again, Knight. GG's Danv. Hope to see you again. And you're doing a fabulous job over at the YouTube. And, oh, yeah, I got some PayPal to send out, right? I got to send some PayPal out. Danv will get some of that. Okay, let's take a look at our round of 16. Let's refresh that because it has to. There it is. So Knight is in against Tugi, and right now we have 2 players from like basically the lower 8 in qualifiers are into the round of 16. So yeah, Knight is in, Crab Rangoon is in. We also have ID Kirby in against Guafi. So 3 of our 8 open spots in the top 16 filled in. We're going to do 1 more starting in an hour. And what that is going to be is the orange bracket. Whoops. Orange. There it is. Orange bracket. Critical Lapis versus Row. Winner versus Peak. And the winner of that will eventually take on our 2-time in a row winner, October and November champion, Blue Scooty. So seems like Peak always ends up like 16. Peak, why are you always the 16th seed? Like maybe you could just like, you know, like you always want to play the number 1 seed apparently, but all right. He's going to test himself. Critical Lapis versus Row, then Peak. And then we're going to do the green bracket here, Doodle versus Poopy Old Hag. So that is what is going to happen tonight. That will start in 1 hour. I'm going to go ahead and thank those of you who contributed. That is a big bear there, buddy. Hey, buddy. There you go. New follower, Not Much 2020, Trampoline, Regina Phalange, Danv, Zella Zowie, Angry Roro, Sion Moss. I didn't get that last one. Or Sion Moss. Thank you, Prime Sub, 3 minutes ago. You're in there. That's you. You're being thanked. Also, thank you for the raids, Cole, Michael, and AV Geek. Appreciate that. Patrons, thank you. Scott Gray, Jay in the Window, Kane, Taki, Middlesburger, Corporal Shelby, Jr., Troy Dan, Kim, Emerald, Potato, Cat, Jeff, G, Jason, Sunny, and everybody else on the live. Thank you so much. Patreon.com. Okay. And then prizes. Yeah, we had some contribution to the prize pool. And yeah, our borrow, $10. Hilbert Space, $30. Before that, we had, previous streams. Maisie, Arbaro, Davis, and Junior. So thank you for your contributions. Use that Maturino command. And that'll bring up some links, or one link, and use that and get on over. All right, guys, we will be back in 1 hour, so join us for that. 3 matches. If there is a break in the middle, we'll do something. All right. Take care. Tetris for Mario, Jade, Dirtblock, Marktris, Jingle, TOTK Fan, Wieneman, Hedgehog Claws. Have a Vandy saying 6'7" is so cringe. Yeah, it is cringe, Mark. It is. You guys sound even more cringe when you say it. Okay? All right. Have a great day, YouTube. We'll see you in an hour. Bye.